Good morning, friends. Spencer Love here with Chris Parrish and the Canadian Goose Kyle Shaw. Honk, honk, honk. Before we started today's show, we wanted to make sure that we took the minute and honored a guy who is a vital part, a fundamental part of the Albertan wrestling community, and Brian Hamilton. For those who don't know, for those who are based outside of Alberta, Brian was a super fan. And there's really no other way to put it. Any show, any event, any professional wrestler, promoter, journalists like ourselves, Brian supported, Brian loved, Brian genuinely cared for. And unfortunately, we lost Brian a couple of days ago. And I just wanted to, get my piece out there. And of course, Parrish and Shaw, I want to provide the piece for you guys as well to maybe share some memories before we get started on today's show, maybe give some thoughts on Brian himself. But just speaking to a great guy in the Albertan wrestling community. This show, of course, is going to be dedicated to Brian today. Before we officially start, though, Parrish, Shaw, the floor is yours, guys.
Thanks, Spencer. Yeah, when we first started this Love Wrestling thing, we all wanted to have this mantra that a collection of everyone came together who generally loved pro wrestling, and nobody embodies that more than the fans that come to the wrestling show. And Brian Hamilton was one of those fans who generally loved pro wrestling so much to where he supported, whether it was WWE, independents, pro wrestling guys themselves. And he always made sure that they felt like they mattered a lot. He was just a genuine human being. He was a generally passionate, and he always wanted to make sure he sat front row at every show and enjoyed everything. And sometimes he always had things happen to him by accident because of his scenario. But he never complained. He actually felt like this is something that just made the night better. Those are the wrestling fans are what drives professional wrestlers to go out and perform. It was a true honor wrestling in front of Brian Hamilton. He will be missed. But forever, we just say, Brian, we miss you. We love you. We'll see you soon.
Kyle, any thoughts?
Yeah. When I first got into wrestling out here in Alberta, it was just like helping out at shows, doing sound, that kind of stuff. And I met Brian at the first show I went to, and it was in Red Deer. And there was many shows that I saw Brian at in Red Deer, which, like, Brian lived in Edmonton, so he drove from Edmonton to Red Deer, oftentimes giving other wrestling fans a ride down to the show. And one of the things I really do want to talk about with Brian is that he kind of paved the way for the three of us here. Like, Brian was doing
a very good way to put it, dude.
Podcasts for Backbreaker Media Network, reviewing shows since before any of us had a podcast. So, like, he could always be seen in the front row with his notes. And like you guys said, he was always like a really nice guy. Like, you even when I became a wrestler, I didn't walk up to Brian and have him go off on me and tell me how bad I suck or anything like that. He was always just like a positive, uplifting dude. And one of those guys who, like you walk into the building and you'd be like, oh, there's Brian. And you'd make a point to walk up and say, hey, and how you doing, Brian? It's nice to see you and stuff. So I know that there's a lot of people in the community right now in Edmonton that are hurting from his loss because he was such a fixture. He's really, he was like the Edmonton version of the ECW hat guy, or like Vlad the super fan. Like, I literally saw him at almost every show, and the guy must have spent thousands of dollars on wrestling tickets and thousands of dollars on transportation. Like I say, he would give Mike the ref a ride to these shows in Red Deer. There's all kinds of other people that he would, help out and stuff like that. So yeah, my thoughts are with Brian's friends and family, and his fans, the people that contributed, like that listened to his contributions on Backbreaker Media Network back in the day. So my thoughts are with those folks.
You absolutely put it perfectly, Shaw. Parrish yourself as well. And I know there's a couple people hopping in the comments. Andre, see you there, man. Pluggo, see you there. Thank you guys for the support. Lots of love to you guys as well, but lots of love to Brian. Today's show is for him. We're going to be back in about a minute with JPJ. We're going to be chatting professional wrestling with the vibe, with the energy that you guys are used to seeing, but it certainly wouldn't have been right to start today's show without honoring a gentleman who, like Shaw said, really paved the way for a lot of us, whether it be in the journalistic, using the air quotes for me, or whether it be in just loving professional wrestling. Brian summed that up perfectly. Today's show is dedicated to him, and we'll see you guys in about a minute and a half for Love Wrestling Sunday Brunch. Hello, friends. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us on another edition of Love Wrestling Sunday Brunch here. Whether you're watching on Twitch, whether you're watching on Facebook Live, whether you're watching on YouTube, and whether or not you tuned in for the prior 5 minutes where we honored a guy who meant a lot to a lot of the individuals here on the site. Thank you guys for taking the time on a Sunday morning to grab a mimosa, grab a coffee, but most importantly, chat some professional wrestling. Now, Parrish, now Shaw, I know it wasn't the most positive ways to kick off a show, but of course with JPJ being the new guy in the show, we got to ask him first how he's doing, man. So, dude, good to see you again after an early edition of the War Report this morning, man.
Yeah,
how are things?
Already podcasted for like 3 hours.
Yeah, that was a long one, but I was good. It was good to have Matt back and get back in the saddle with the War Report. But I'm doing good, man. Yeah, I'm excited about tonight. Double or Nothing. I think it's going to be real good.
Oh, yeah, man.
It's going to be real good. That card is strong. Very excited about that. And just in general, man, I'm excited to be on here. It's been a few weeks, maybe almost like a month. I haven't been able to hop on a brunch, so
I was going to say, it wasn't this morning, but we were chatting when you were on a stream a couple of days ago, and like I don't think you and I have hopped on for one of these between the two of us in weeks, man. So
it's been a while.
Good to see you. Good to see you. And then Parrish, Shaw, I'll ask you first. Obviously, all things considered, it's never going to be a great, wonderful, and fantastic. But how are you feeling on this Sunday morning?
I'm I am doing great, wonderful, and fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I'm sad about Brian, but we have a show to do, and Brian would want us to enjoy the wrestling that's going on. Like that's just the way it would go. So
sir, put it much better than I ever could, to be quite honest with you.
I definitely I tuned into Joe's 3-hour epic long 6:00 a.m. in the morning podcast, and I'm hyped up for AEW tonight. Now I don't know if I'll get to watch the pay-per-view live, but I will definitely be making a point to check it out because it's a stacked card for sure.
Absolutely. And Joe, I know you're going to be repeating yourself a little bit here on Sunday Brunch at points, but I'm certain we're going to be chatting Double or Nothing. We've already got a couple of comments in the chat, but before we get to those, Throwback, Joe, good to see you guys. We've got to ask Parrish, though, how are you doing, man? It's good to see you both here and now hopping in the comments section.
Well, Mighty Joe had just popped me for the tirade he went on about Punk and Daniel Bryan, and then sarcastically in the comments. So you got me there. So other than that, like,
he's got a shorts eating date.
I mean, yeah, like I think I don't know, like I think I sent it out perfectly. Like it's like your heart sinks when you see like a fellow brother, like we did when we saw Marky get hit with COVID, and then just having a chance to talk to him on Thursday night was just so positive. And then Friday we get the thing with Brian, so it almost felt like it's like you never had a chance to kick out when it came to the emotional side. So it just that was hard and then whatnot. But I mean, we're here talking wrestling. We got AEW coming in, and if you like Young Bucks, you hate the Young Bucks, it's pro wrestling, and that's what we're here about. We're here about loving pro wrestling, and everyone I mentioned, that's what they do at their fullest. So
A very wise man once said, "Controversy creates cash," and I think that the Bucks have attended that class at least once or twice. Is the way I would go with it. Yeah, Joe, like you said, I'm glad you remembered. Hopefully, Punk or Daniel Bryan doesn't show up, or I'll have to eat my shorts. I'm hoping Daniel Bryan or CM Punk show up because then I win twice. Not only do we get Daniel Bryan. Excellently played, Mr. Kyle Shaw. Pluggo, just getting some shots in there from Throwback as well. Pluggo, your wife called. She said to take your shirt off in the comments section. I'll sideline that one as well. But Throwback hopping in, and he's got this one specific for JPJ to kick the show off today. Happy Sunday fun day to you too, Throwback. JPJ, what are your thoughts on the economic impact that SummerSlam and Boston would have had? Do you see the possibility of a WWE or AEW pay-per-view in Boston again? It's been since Mania 14 since you got one of the big four. I'll give you the big screen. You're getting the questions, not we are.
Yeah. I had tickets to SummerSlam, so I was bummed when that stuff got canceled. I was more upset about that than the economic part of it. Sometimes you gotta just take one on the chin, but I was excited for that weekend. Yeah, I mean, obviously anytime you get a weekend's worth of a big event like that would have been awesome for the city and for us Boston fans. We usually get we'll definitely get multi shows here, like Raws and SmackDowns, and usually one pay-per-view a year, but it's usually a B level pay-per-view, but it's still a pay-per-view. There's plenty of areas around the country and up Canada that probably don't get any shows. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, we're in Boston, so we know we're at least getting a little of some stuff. The second ever Dynamite was in Boston, so I expect they'll come around again. I was looking forward to a Big Four event like that, though. It has been a while since Boston's gotten one of those, but I'm hoping they kind of make it up to us at some point and give us something else pretty good to get excited about.
Boston's a dream city for me. I haven't.
Well, you can come anytime, my friend. Once things are.
That's what I was suddenly sliding in there for. Is do I have free stay? That's what I was really asking. But but I digress. You're back.
This is my favorite Boston memory, by the way. The Edmonton Oilers winning in the 1990 Stanley Cup champions, and yes, it's a towel. Yeah. You guys are rocking old school, so I have to a little.
Yeah. How you doing this year? What's up?
It's okay.
No, we don't want to talk about it, but
I think we won game one last night. What was it, 5-2? Yeah, okay. All right.
I got a lot of time for the
Boston. I got a lot of time for the Boston.
Shout out to my boy Nick Holden playing on the Vegas Golden Knights. Big win, by the way. Yeah. Represent my boy.
Bango.
Former Sherwood Park Crusaders.
Was this a hockey podcast? Let's talk some wrestling.
Yes, let's talk wrestling.
Good transition back.
As we've talked about a couple of times, you've got AEW's Double or Nothing taking place tonight. This is I would say the flagship pay-per-view. It would really be between this and All Out would really be the two big events for them, even though they do 4 per year. Haha, doo-doo. I'm excited as hell. There's really no other way to put it, JPJ. You guys broke down the card bit by bit this morning. There are so many great matches and so many different matches, you look at the heavyweight championship match, a triple threat that's absolutely going to burn the house down with 3 incredibly different pro wrestlers involved in it. You look at Stadium Stampede, you look at Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida, right? There are so many, and it's such a cliche to say, man, but big money matches on this card. It's this for me. And I'm saying this off the top of my head, so I'm sure there'll be stuff that comes in the comments or you guys bring up that'll have to adjust here. But this might be the card I'm most excited for that AEW set up. This might be the pay-per-view I'm most excited for.
It is very good. It is very good. There is not a weak match, and that's including the buy-in. The pre-show match with Serena Deeb and Riho is gonna kill. That's a banger. Every
wasn't it
match.
Double or Nothing or All Out last year? Deeb wrestled Allison Kay too, and they absolutely tore it down on the buy-in.
Yeah, there is not a weak match, and we didn't even mention that Sting is wrestling in a live in-ring match tonight.
There's and not only that, he's wrestling good Canadian boy Ethan Page.
Oh yeah,
Let's get the shout out there as well. Parrish, we'll hop to you though. I know Kyle and JPJ and I have marked out, as the insiders say. So give me your thoughts. How are you feeling on Double or Nothing?
Well, as someone who doesn't weekly watch, like I'm not a big AEW guy as much as you guys are. Like I do keep on top of it, so like it's not something like like it's not Chinese to me. But with that being said, I'm looking forward to just how they like use certain guys. Like I'm a big Adam Page fan. I like him a lot. I want to see him like he's like the Cesaro to AEW for me. Like as much as I want to see Cesaro push to the next level, I want to see Adam Page kind of there.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah,
I think so too.
But with that being said, like Pac is also another guy I keep my eyes out on because I just think he's like we always talk about like guys like William Regal being one of the most undervalued, underrated British workers. Yeah, I think that just never won like a big one kind of thing. I think Pac is slowly becoming there too. When it comes to little guys and the way he flies and just he moves and like he is so fluid, so smooth. Like I don't know, like I just like, and he's built like a brick house, man. Like the guy just looks everything, and he does the most beautiful top rope move.
Plug out Page versus Cage will rage. I cannot wait until the inevitable day that we get Cage and Cage versus Page and Page in a steel cage.
And they take the stage.
Yeah. When do you guys want to drop a beat for that guy?
Yeah.
Does anybody else remember Happy Gilmore? It's like I can make things out of clay. I don't know. I just may. What do you say?
Maybe we'll go down by the bay.
We can go eat some hay. What do you say?
Gold jacket, green jacket. Who gives?
I think another thing that I'm really excited about, and we
You
saw it a
eat
little bit with the we saw it a little bit on Friday.
Doo-doo. We'll say
but
doo-doo.
I'm excited for a full crowd. I'm excited for a full crowd of fans being there. And yes, they had a full crowd on Friday, so we got a glimpse of it on Dynamite. But big event, big pay-per-view, for real, full crowd. That just adds so much. It adds so much to everything, you know.
Good to see you, friend. Thank you for hopping in on Love Wrestling Sunday Brunch this morning. Right now, the topic du jour, or the topic du now, I suppose, AEW Double or Nothing. But we're here to chat pretty well anything and everything for about the next 40 minutes here on the show. You're bang on though. Like every match on this card offers something different. I think we've all made the point before that like pro wrestling at its best is a buffet. Right? You're not just going out for a really great steak. Everybody at the table gets steak. We all love steak, but you also need to throw some different meals in there. You need some different flavors, some different things that'll appeal to everyone, right? Like I'm so very, very excited. Like it's even insane to me. I keep going back. Like I forgot about Sting. Sting's my birthday buddy, and I forgot about a Sting match. It's insane, the card they've developed.
I've stolen 3 moves from Sting. How dare you forget about Sting?
He loses the hat. He's flipped his lid. Goose, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Sure. Early contender for match of the night.
Ooh, match of the night tonight. I think that really depends on how things play out. I mean, if Orange Cassidy wins, that's 100% like what I'm going for.
It'd be insane.
Yeah. But there's no guys on this show that aren't capable of stealing the show. Like there's not one match on this show.
Dolph Ziggler's not there.
His brother probably will be.
It's true.
Damn it!
It's true.
I lose the witty, clever comment.
But there's not, like I say, there's not one match on the show where if I woke up tomorrow morning and you told me, oh, this match stole the show, I wouldn't be like, oh, okay, like you know,
really?
Every single like match has the potential to be an incredible bout tonight, and it's going to be a good show. I'm thinking.
I completely agree. Throwback, I love the comments you've got in here. I'm going to go to your second one first because it's one I'm sure all of us can dig into a little bit here. If Britt Baker wins tonight, she should start a women's version of Omega. Give me Purrazzo versus Baker, title for title. Give me Baker, give me Purrazzo versus the world. Those two women are, regardless of gender, they are two of the most talented professional wrestlers, two of the most popular, most over, most they're hot right now, whatever phrase you want to put on it. Like they are the two of the biggest stars in wrestling right now. There's really no doubt about it for me. Like the only thing that does, like, you just do have to make the comparison with viewership in that, like, Purrazzo, and I mean this is nothing against Baker, everything for Purrazzo, like Purrazzo's been just as good, if not better than Baker for portions of the year, right? Like it's insane that those two, and again, we've talked about it a ton between all of us, but when they announced that this Forbidden Door was opening, like, oh yeah, I'm excited about Kenny Omega. Oh yeah, I'm excited about Finn Juice now coming over to Impact. But my first thought was, who can Deonna Purrazzo wrestle?
Yep.
That was my first place it went. So I completely agree with you there, Throwback. Is there anybody who would maybe disagree with that? Is Britt's, maybe should she be like a staple of AEW, or I don't know what way I want to phrase it, but what could potentially be done differently there in the interest of continuing a discussion?
I think when it comes to Britt Baker, you just let things organically kind of continue to roll. She's on this very good rhythm right now and momentum to where you don't want to kind of go too hard with anything. Like, you don't want to make any drastic changes like right away, or else she might lose some steam. Like, it can happen. With the live crowd now, you see the fans are really kind of getting behind her, it seems like. So you have an organic star in the making. So you kind of just, it kind of reminds you to when they tried to turn Becky Lynch, and as soon as she clocked Charlotte, everyone just lost it and was like rooting for her even more. And like, you just listen to that and then you roll with it, because that's when you know you have an organic star in the making. And it's just the same as when WWE went with Daniel Bryan, right? Like, you just do that. It's a natural change, and that's what you got to do. You got to keep putting her in positions to succeed, though. So if you put the title on her, you got to make sure she's getting those big matches, those big moments, those big competitors. So you got to challenge her, but at the same time, you can't go too hard too much. You got to make sure that the time's right when you do things, because that's the organic aspect of making a true star.
Fair point, my friend. I'm going to throw a couple of comments up here first, and then JPJ, I'm going to go to you with a question, my friend. Ed, good to see you, man. It's always appreciated that you tune in, and like it's appreciated as hell that you tune in and say hi even when you're like out doing stuff to pop in. Thanks, man.
I want to say hi to Ed's mom.
Hello. Fair call.
Hi.
If you're out with her, we can say hi to both. Hello, Ed's mother as well.
Mrs. Freeze?
Fries, I believe.
No, he said it's either freeze or fries, so I call it now freezy fries.
That's why I went with the other side of it too, because I was there. Throwback hopping in. Speaking of the third door being open, what are their thoughts of WWE and NJPW doing business? Even with AEW working with NJPW, this could help all there. Bryan versus New Japan would be amazing. I completely agree with you, dude. Don't worry, Joe. I haven't forgot. I've got a question for you, because I've got to keep going back to Britt Baker. I'm excited as hell. I'm excited as all hell. How it would affect AEW, I've got no idea. How it would affect Impact, I've got no idea. And this is just me assuming. But I'd have to guess that if WWE is going to work with New Japan, it's going to be a them or us situation. But you're bang on there, man. And from what I've read as well from some fairly reputable sources, Daniel Bryan's the crux of all of this. If Daniel Bryan signs with WWE, Daniel Bryan is able to work New Japan matches. As far as I have read and interpreted, that is close to a go, is I guess the best way I can put it. But I've also been wrong before. If you see me on Twitter and this clip out there where I'm being proven wrong, it probably isn't going to be the last. So, haha, you made me look like an idiot for the first time, but definitely not the final time. Joe, what I wanted to ask you on, because you talked about it quite extensively this morning, this match itself, but I've been reading out there, and it's something I got a lot of time for. What would your thoughts be on a double turn tonight with Baker and Shida?
I would be okay. I think Britt Baker is getting the biggest pop of the night when she wins that title. I think that's
when
going to be,
she wins that title.
Yes, when. I will say when.
Is everybody else in agreement with that? It's a when, not if?
I think so. I think if they don't give her the title
goes hopping in too. Baker wins or I riot.
I think if they were not to give her the title tonight, that would be arguably one of the biggest blunders they would have done as a company to this point, if not the big.
I'm happy you used the word blunder too.
Yeah.
Well chosen.
Yeah. Thank you. My thing is, I thought she should have won that tournament. I thought she should have already probably been champion at this point by now. But like, you have to give it to her tonight in front of the full crowd. You have to. They just presented the new title, the new updated title for the new champion. Like, you have to. I think, I would be perfectly okay with that, because I think Britt Baker has reached that level where everyone knows how awesome she is. So she's going to get cheered no matter how hard she tries to be a bad guy or a heel. she's gonna get cheered. So I think Sheeta could use a fresh up too. So
don't disagree with you at all. He's doubled down, pun intended. I agree. DMD wins, which again, you talk about a full crowd, Joe. Friday night, that was probably the biggest thing that I noticed is like quite literally everybody in that crowd. DMD.
Can I ask, when it comes to Cody's wife, and we all know like is she still pregnant or is she?
Yeah, I don't believe
already
she's
given
birth.
birth?
I don't believe they've had their child yet. No.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, if hypothetically they like that wasn't the situation, and Brandy was ready to go with her like power being kind of like that heel character she's played in the past, this would have been a great time to have her throw down her power and screw Britt and make her even bigger in the sense of like almost bigger than a title. But like obviously this can't be a thing. But like I would love to see kind of like a female version of the Vince Stone Cold thing, and it's almost like you're taking that idea and running with it to the point where you got this natural progression going, and then you have someone who's just like, boom, I'm gonna do that, and
exactly like a heel
Sheeta,
exactly. Like if you were maybe use Brandy as that conduit, and I know we're fantasy booking here, friends. I don't want anybody hopping in the comments with. I don't want anybody hopping in saying, "Well, actually, you guys, that's unable to happen." We know. I ain't smart by any means, but I certainly ain't stupid. Joe hopping in, and Kyle, I'll start with you on the. Actually, I started with you on the last one, so we'll go clockwise with this. Parrish, kick her off. Who's the Joker in the Casino Battle Royal tonight?
The real man who's going to steal the show, Barry Darzo, the Repo Man. No,
that'd be awesome.
Yes.
Repo Man.
Hey, in the sense of our boy band, Spencer. Bye.
Barry Horowitz. Barry Horowitz is the Joker in this evening's match.
No, I mean, I honestly do. I would like to see somebody that actually envisions the Joker thing. And I think one of the best new age guys that could be it would be a Danhausen. I think that would be an excellent addition to AEW. It's not like a giant like home run hit, but I think it's one of those shots that, you know what, he's going to pay off in the years to come. And I think,
dude, I would even disagree that he's a home. Like, I think he's a home run hit now. If he was to,
he's not an instant name. He's not like a name. He's not like a Samoa Joe name or things like that. Like he's not that heavy name right away. But what he can be is he can be that future guy that you're just like, oh man, I can't wait to see him against Darby Allins and stuff like that. It's one of those guys that could be a huge addition to AEW moving forward. And I think AEW has to start doing that instead of just stealing guys or not stealing, but grabbing guys that used to be in WWE.
I think, and again, I'm not ever 100% positive on this sort of stuff. As far as I know, though, Danhausen recently signed with Ring of Honor, and he's there for a bit. So I really don't know. I can't ever speak to contract stuff. I'm just not.
There is the forbidden door.
I ain't in the know.
There is the
That's
forbidden
right.
door.
There is, of course, the forbidden door.
You never know. Technically,
current could be president of All Elite Wrestling, the Forbidden Door himself, Tony Khan. That's maybe somewhere to go with it. And obviously, if you didn't like it, because I wasn't a huge fan. So we will qualify. Let's be courteous to old Tony here. But what did you guys think of the promo?
He's a dork. That's my comment. That's just my comment. I'm sorry,
Joe.
I liked it. I when things like that happen, I tend to go to the it's funny, it's humorous, whatever. They all know. I do agree with Parrish. He is a nerd. He's a nerd. He's a wrestling nerd. But guess what? So am I. So it is what it is. He is a dork. He does have those dork tendencies, but I think that's what makes him endearing a little bit. He is just a wrestling nerd that owns a wrestling company. That's crazy, No,
I want to frosh him.
The fact that he named himself the Forbidden Door, almost turned that entirely around for me. Yeah. You can go through my Twitter timeline. Tony Khan's the best promo in wrestling is something I have tweeted before.
Okay, then I take it back. He's not a nerd. He's a knob.
And that's fair too. I get why people would be even for me, this just personally wasn't my favorite of the promos he's done, but that was purely on the promo itself, not in any of the content to it, not in any of the context of it, anything like that. if Triple H is going to be calling out Billy Gunn at the Hall of Fame and saying, well, Vince will just come out and buy that pissant company.
It's a different story, though, man.
No,
They're brothers. It's a different story, though. I mean, they were at least honoring Billy Gunn, though, when they were doing it. And it's, it's boys
so
being
at the same
boys.
time,
Tony Khan has no business doing anything WWE, though. Like, it's
but
like,
it goes both ways.
But neither did Eric Bischoff then, and neither did the Nacho Man or Billionaire Ted that Vince was throwing up on TV in the mid-90s too, right? Like,
I don't know if you guys saw this today.
I should take the question down. We're not answering this at all right now, Joe. Sorry. We'll get back to it.
No, we won't. I'm sorry.
We could not be answering that question less right now.
That's the clip for this show.
Today on WWE social media, I believe on their Instagram, they had a video of Nia Jax squashing someone on there, and the person that they had,
who was the someone?
Yeah, Britt Baker. But it's only AEW making fun of WWE all the time. It goes both ways. It goes both ways.
I mean,
they nitpick at each other. Like I look at it like, yeah, all right. You guys pretend that it's not a competition or anything, and it might not be to an extent, but like you rag on each other. That's what they're doing. Yeah. They both do it. Like it is, you know what I mean?
I mean, there's guys in each company that are tight. There's friends, they're brothers. And like things like that.
Even in the case of Britt Baker, like her boyfriend's Adam Cole.
Yeah,
like, you're not going to find. You're not going to find. Yeah, but you're not like you want to talk. You're making a perfect point, Parrish. Like those are two of the biggest stars of their respective companies. It ain't like they hate each other.
If they do, that's a different topic we should be talking about. But it's one of those things where, like, I'm all cool with like the wrestlers taking the jabs at each other because one, they're probably better thought out because they're just better at it than maybe the executives are. But with Tony Khan, like, if I have no problem with him doing like Twitter shots and things like that, but don't waste my time in taking shots at guys like that Nick Khan's, who honestly nobody gives a what about. I'm not gonna ever pay money to hear a Nick Khan like creative segment.
Sure.
Exactly my point. Like, it's like, who cares? It's like, at least shoot on Vince. If you're gonna shoot on somebody, or at least plug something, like go Vince, or at least like Kevin Dunn, somebody we know.
Kyle, I'll move to you on this one after too, because I know I've taken up a lot of her as well. But like, does anybody think that Tony Khan's going to take and I know he said he's never taking an on-screen role. He's never personally.
He'll be in the Battle Royal tonight.
Yeah, he's the Joker. He's the Joker.
Great call. We got back to your question, Joe. And there it is. We took this all the way back to who our picks were for the surprise entrant. So Parrish is going with Tony Khan.
In true Bruce Hart fashion, he's clearing the ring and then he's putting the strap on himself.
Yeah, he's doing it.
Beautifully played.
Because the Repo Man and the Con Man are going straight to the top.
Alrighty, before we get back to her, there's a couple of questions in here. I want to make sure that we're shouting out the comment section if we are. Yes, Danhausen is ROH, at least as far as we are willing to plant our flags right now. I'll never confirm contracts because I just do not have the knowledge on that end. Pluggo, great call. Heath Slater. I'd have all the time for Slater Gator in there. Dream picks would be Okada or even better, Ibushi. I'm really interested in how often Drew McIntyre has been tweeting Okada.
Oh my God, hilarious!
And I'm just gonna throw that one out there. Hey, look, T-Mobile Arena finally followed me. I absolutely love that one.
That one was great.
See, here's where we get it. Khan versus Khan for the rights to New Japan. There can be only one, says Throwback in there. And then throwing in there on a question that I'm technically not allowed to answer. In a preview show match, who would win for a world title? Pluggo versus Spencer. He will pay for this match to happen.
Oh boy!
No,
and remember, you guys have on screen.
Well, you can't answer people with my titles.
I'll be right back.
Shaw's pleading the fifth. Good call,
Shaw's like, I'm out of here. I'm out. I'm just out. I've had enough.
Shaw's not even going to put any money to that draw.
Danhausen's living in Montreal, so there you go. I would have to assume.
Which, by the way, I hope the Habs beat the Leafs because it'll be hilarious.
Spencer, can I ask you who you think the Joker's going to be?
I've said, and I don't know where it's coming from. It's a gut feeling on all of it. I'm thinking Chris Hero.
Oh, it's a good one.
Like, he's been slowly but surely ramping stuff up. Obviously, he's got a show on ad free right now.
Yeah.
He's been conspicuously quiet on the wrestling end. And
a good one. I didn't even think of
like, look, let's just get down to brass tacks on it, man. Like, if you're talking about people, for me at least, do you look at NXT runs or you look at like what could have happened? Like, obviously, you see him wrestle. That guy knows a lot. You hear that guy talk about wrestling, that guy knows a lot. Like, there are very few more knowledgeable people outside of the ring and very few better people inside the ring by my money. Like, the fact that NXT, and I, maybe somebody can clear up on here. Like, I don't know if he asked to be released. I don't know what the situation as far as that was. But for me, like, Cassius Ohno at the time, but Chris Hero, like, you look at a guy that like is just perfectly suited for, I guess, what WWE wants to do. Like, he could be that player coach. He could move into that agent role. And again, not knowing if this is what he would want to do.
Yeah.
But he just seemed like someone who would be a perfect fit for something like he's a modern day William Regal, I guess is the best way I can put it. William/Steven Regal got her done in the ring, got her done outside of the ring. Right. And I think there are a lot of comparables there with Chris Hero. I think he would get that like massive, oh shit, Chris Hero's here.
Yeah.
He came through as the Joker. I think he's got that, like you were talking about earlier, Parrish, like that surprise pop weight to it, I guess. I don't know. I'm even having, this is really with the heart, not the head, but I'm going Chris Hero on this one.
All right. That's a good pick. Go ahead. Parrish,
No. You go ahead because you haven't talked, and it's rude if I talk.
No, I'm good. I said on the podcast this morning that, and again, I have no inkling, and I agreed with Matt when we were chatting. Like, this is one of the ones where I don't have any real clue who it could be.
Yeah.
But I'm going with Nick Gage. I think. I think because of the Moxley stuff and the dark side of the ring, like, he's been in the moment the last couple of weeks. He had a great interview with Chris Van Vliet that it was awesome. Fantastic.
Another Canadian, by the way.
Yeah.
Chris Double V.
And he's the guy that comes out. He gets that. He's on like a redemption story. He's got the doc out on him. He has all this buzz around him. Moxley showed up and attacked him after he retained the title at GCW. So he's got all this stuff going on.
Did you even see at their last event, Moxley showed up and they quite literally brawled down a city block?
Yeah, they went down the whole street. The whole street.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and like, I feel like, why not? Like, that's a good surprise. He gets a big pop on a mainstream audience that he probably,
a great show.
It's a great moment, and he doesn't need to win, obviously. So, like, why not? Like, I just think that would be cool as hell. I think that would be a great moment for him personally, too.
And hopefully it starts to set up the eventual Nick Gage versus Britt Baker death match that I think we're all looking forward to here sooner rather than later.
And she would
death match dentist, man. She's too good. We can keep cycling back to Britt Baker all day. Next Sunday's brunch is
I just had like
Britt Baker tribute show. Yes, please feel free. Sorry.
Tagging with it because, like, I said Danhausen as a guy, like, I would like to see them bring in a guy that's going to help the company in years to come, not like necessarily that big home run hit right away. I think the best guy that could do that right now, who's a good name and a combination of guys who's going to help him down the road, is Andrade. I think he is easily the best pick that could be like, you know what, here's a guy that is a player right now, and guess what, he still has like 5-6 years in him to where he's going to help carry this company down the road too.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong though here. If you win the Casino Battle Royal, you earn you become number one contender, correct?
Yeah, you get a guaranteed heavyweight championship match.
Well, in Parrish, like, you talk about prior history with people like who's Kenny
Omega
wrestling
title,
for the AAA World Championship, right? Like, again, just ties in the history there. And AEW does a great job of doing that. They really, really do. I'm almost selfishly hoping that it's Glacier again, like it was in the first Casino Battle Royal, because you talk about random appearances from dudes. That's like when Tatanka was in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal a couple of years ago. Yeah. Like, nothing against them by any means. You're just like, what?
Yeah, you just couldn't
Glacier?
Like, there wasn't an extra security guard up at Tatanka.
I'm half expecting we're going to get one of these days. It's going to be like, somebody's entering as the Joker, and you're just going to get somebody point at the top of a tall building. That's the wall, brother. It's the wall entering as the Joker. Like,
the wall died. So
Well, then you know what?
Yeah.
We've got room for hyperbole here on the show, Kyle Shaw. We can hyperbolize. This is a fantasy world of whimsy and carefree love.
Hey,
Okay, we can talk about that.
You talk nice about the wall. I heard he's built like a brick house.
Yeah, my friend, is a perfect place for us to take a quick break because we've already gone past the commercial break. Spencer, as always, tends to take things a little bit off the rails, but we're going to take that quick break. We know some people out there. Well, I think we all did a pretty good job of contributing to the cacophony today. A couple of days ago, yesterday actually, and it was a pretty cool opportunity for me. I finally had the opportunity to go down and visit the Hart House and visit Owen Hart's gravesite. And admittedly, as a professional wrestling fan, I'm sure speaking to all of you guys as well, it hits a little bit in the feelings, but also brings back a lot of positive memories about pro wrestlers we love and people we love in it. So a couple of months ago, I got the opportunity to speak to TJ Wilson, the last graduate of the Hart Dungeon, and we spoke about Stu Hart stories like nobody's business. So here's a couple of them on getting stretched and on Stu Hart stealing pizza right here on Love Wrestling. You talk about Stu there, man, and I love the fact it's always cool for me. You always hear about him as this shooter and almost like this angry dude, but you hear him like giving you guys shit about the rules of wrestling. Natalia told a pretty cool story a while ago about him holding a picture of Luther Lindsay in his wallet and no one else. Have you got any good Stu Hart stories that I guess wouldn't get me in trouble with the rest of the Harts?
Just, man, like there's funny ones. Like he'd come down to like stretch us when we're training in the dungeon once in a while. I remember him coming one time. There was like a film crew, and this one guy who I'm friends with. So I can't out him, but I remember him hiding behind the door, and then like kind of once Stu came in and he left like almost like an episode of The Simpsons where all of a sudden you hear the car peel off. And I was like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like it's an honor to be stretched by Stu in the world of wrestling. Especially we had a bunch of amateur wrestlers and stuff at that time, so we had guys that understood like that type of thing. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, man, he's a little bit older. He might not know his own strength anymore. I said, dude, I didn't know Stu when he's younger, but I think I'd rather be stretched by Stu when he's older, and I feel like he's maybe more of a gentleman than when he was younger. I feel like I could be wrong, but I got stretched by him a bunch. I'm still allowed to talk about it. He didn't forget his own strength or, kind of lose control. So I'm still here.
Always cool to get the opportunity to talk to someone that I consider an icon. I've put him on my Mount Rushmore of Canadian wrestlers. You guys want the evidence of that? Check out the Badlands podcast that old Magsy has hosted for the last little bit. Right, good to see you, friend. Check out the handsome fellas. There's 4 of us now, which is even nicer. 2 for the price of 1, 4 for the price of 2, and thank you for the bits. That will get you those 2, I suppose. Nice to see you guys all staying through the comments section. Throwback hopping in on our previous conversation there regarding the Joker in the Casino Battle Royal. The Joker, the surprise person, Batman. He could cut a promo, I'm Batman, and drop kick people. Yeah, I've got no issue for stuff like that. Like, I know you guys have probably all seen clips of stuff like this, but like one of my favorite first memories of professional wrestling when you start to dive in on YouTube or anything like that is I remember a match, I think it was even in CMLL, where it was an 8-man tag match and 4 of the competitors were dressed as the Ninja Turtles. I have so much time. Much time for stuff.
They tagged
like that.
in WWF at one point.
Did they?
You're really old. You're really old. Joe Jr., you must remember that one.
Kane.
I don't.
I've got all the time. Like again, another one I'm sure you guys have seen out there in the internet zeitgeist is like the clip of a Michael Jackson impersonator hooking someone for the DDT,
the moonwalk DDT,
and moonwalking into it. Incredible. Shaw, Parrish, any favorite, maybe not celebrity moments in professional wrestling, cartoonish moments in professional wrestling? Or do we just want to get back to Double or Nothing? We've gone off the rails enough.
Cartoonish moments in professional. Every single match I've ever been in.
God, I love you, Shaw. I absolutely love you. Good shout out there from Throwback as well. There's a video on YouTube of Elmo giving a Canadian death driver. Yeah, I've seen that one too. There's a lot of real good ones.
Elmo loves you too.
Unfortunately, I think that if I was a betting man, which I'm not, but if I was a betting man, I doubt that I would be putting any hard money down there on Batman, I'm sticking by Chris Hero. I think the professional wrestler's a lot more likely to be in the professional wrestling match. But what do I know? I've never booked.
I mean, AEW is switching to the TV things. Maybe that new guy playing Batman could make an appearance and be like, "Oh, this is a PR move," and we all know how AEW will go there because they did it.
I mean, I'll take Batman rather than zombies.
Yeah,
even if it's Robert Pattinson.
I think he's going to be an all right Batman. I think he's going to be an all right Batman. I think he's going to be an all right Batman.
Honestly,
I just think there's been too many Batmans lately. You just got to let it go for a bit, you know?
It's going to take a lot, and like whether they're the best movies or not, people can feel free to their opinions on them, but like I grew up remembering like buying tickets for the opening nights of Batman Begins and Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. Yeah. It's going to take a lot for Bale's Batman to be passed. It really is.
And you had some of the best guys playing the villains too. Like those movies are just iconic.
Awesome.
Completely agree. Throwback, what do you have to do to get a shot at the Love Wrestling Championship? Parrish, I'm going to give you the big screen. You're the current champ. You can explain.
If you want a shot, come get it. I'm a fighting champion, but guess what? I'm a dominant champion.
You want some, brother? You don't.
Ever since I've had this title, brother, nobody's been able to beat me, and that's why I'm still the champion, and you're not. So you can do your best, but I always deliver and do my worst, brother. Yeah.
And Parrish, how does somebody earn the opportunity to challenge you in a one-on-one or a triple threat championship match for the Love Wrestling Elite Championship, lovingly furnished by Elite Promotional Marketing based here in Edmonton, Alberta?
You can go to loveWrestling.ca/shop and buy some of the t-shirts and mugs and do a lot of that. I mean, we are very nice to our sponsors too. But with that being said, you can... You did not think I was going to go there, did you?
No, I didn't. You went all with it. I appreciate it. Throwback, I'm loving the call there, though, man. The Wicked Crazy Pinfalls World Title versus the Love Wrestling Championship. I think we can definitely make that happen. Hop in the DMs, man, whether it's talk wrestling, talk about championships, or otherwise. It's always good to see you, just like it's always good to see anybody who is hopping in this afternoon for Joe, this morning for Shaw, Parrish, or I, or whichever respective time zone you may be in. Friends, we're here for about the next 13 minutes chatting about pretty well anything thrown our way in the comment section. We've gone to Batman. We've gone to TBS. We've talked a little bit about professional wrestling here on Love Wrestling this morning, which is kind of nice. It's nice to get the brand equity out of the way. It's like how Canadian radio stations have to play 60% Canadian content. We've got our 12% wrestling content out of the way. Exactly. So we'll talk anything with any of you guys, whether you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook. Keep the comments coming. Otherwise, in about 10 minutes here, we're going to start to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek of what you can expect coming your way from us this week. JPJ, I'm just going to throw to you randomly because I got all the plugs out of the way and I admittedly didn't think of a topic while I was doing it. So here you are. You're on the spot. Give me a topic. Give me a question. Give me a comment. Don't give me a concern. Hopefully you don't have one, but
no,
we'll leave those for the private chat if you've got one with me.
Yeah, no. As far as I'm gonna stick to the AEW Double or Nothing.
Fine by me. I'm excited as hell.
I was gonna bring one up too.
You know what I think has a strong dark horse to be the match of the night this evening? Miro and Lance Archer.
We haven't even talked about it. Holy shit.
I think
swearing.
I think
we give to.
Oh, there you go. You want to plug that if you can, the Shane Henderson birthday show live at 4 p.m. today.
And Raya, sorry about Nightbot cutting your links out. Admittedly, I've tried and failed at how to make that not happen. I'm learning, but not learning fast enough.
No, but I think
sorry, JPJ.
He's a Nightbot. He's not a Daybot. He has to wake up first.
It's all good. I think if they're given the proper time and they are allowed, I think those two guys are going to beat the shit out of each other, and I think it's going to be wonderful. I think it's going to be really, really good. I think Miro's hitting his stride here. I think the last month specifically, he has been.
Miro's gonna kill you.
Exactly. He was eating that up. You could see him. Beautiful. He was like, oh my God. I think he's hitting his stride. The only thing that's unfortunate about it is I don't want to see Archer lose another big match, but I think he probably is, unfortunately. But yeah, I think given the time and if it's booked, well and stuff, like that could be a potential show stealer for tonight.
Sorry, I'm adjusting my hat. I keep turning it the wrong way. I'm really bad at the cameras here.
One
I
thing
agree,
wanted
though,
to
man.
ask-
Sorry, Parrish. Go
Oh
ahead.
no,
you
because
take it.
I was just watching their segment there just the other day, and I was really confused on who the babyface, who the heel was there, because he had Miro kind of saying, "You want to fight? Come get it." And then when the fight came, he grabs the title, goes forward, and tries to be like take the duck. So I was kind of confused on who's playing which part. So like I feel like they can. Like the whole just two big colossals kicking the crap out of each other is like the way to go. I personally don't know if this is a match that needs a direct finish right now, and it could set up to an even bigger match down the road.
Well, I was going to say, we were talking about this earlier, and Goose had a couple good scenarios that could work. Because Matt and I were discussing like how unfortunate it was that it seems like Lance Archer has been losing every important match he's been in. And it looks like he might be doing that again. And it's like, no, like Archer should not be losing every important match he's in. So I think, either a time limit draw. I think Goose said. Goose, what was the other one you said? Like a
double down.
Yeah, double down finish or something like that. That would lead to a last man standing, steel cage, or some sort of next match where like there will be a decisive winner. I think that's a way that you can kind of not have somebody like Archer lose another important match like that. But yeah, that's really the only nitpick I have of it. I just don't want Archer to keep on losing important matches. At some point, you're going to not be invested,
I think you made a really good point too, Parrish, in that like they really haven't clearly defined who the babyface and the heel are in this one. Like I think my assumption is that Miro is supposed to be the heel with it.
Yes, I think so too.
Like
but
Archer
he's over.
and but I think like Archer and I love me some Lance Archer, and I think the pairing with Jake the Snake is as close to a perfect fit as you can find. But I do think that AEW has done. It's peculiar to me that they haven't ever really clearly defined which way he's leaning, right? Like he was the guy who came out. He came in as this big, ruthless heel. He goes up for the TNT championship against Cody, loses that match. He comes and makes the save in the Brody Lee tribute show as the babyface. And then after that, a tribute show shouldn't be the reason you're turning babyface. I guess if that makes sense to sort of give the asterisk to my comments coming up here. But for the few weeks after that, he seemed like in a pretty clearly defined babyface role. And now again, he's back to walking that line of heel and face. And with a feud like this, I've got all the time in the world for like the shades of gray, I suppose. But for something like this, I think you do need to have that clear definition because like you alluded to earlier, Joe, Miro is getting that push right now as he should have for years and years and years. You need to have, I think, that clearly defined role in that situation. So, Shaw, your floor is open, my friend. Let us know what your thoughts are on Miro and Archer. I cut off when I was going to go to you there.
Like I said on Joe's podcast earlier, I think that a time limit draw or even like a double down. I think a double down would probably be better than a time limit, unless the time limit is like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. I think that a double down here would be a really good idea because then they could go down to another match. I mean, they could even have it like just be like, okay, Lance Archer didn't lose, but he also didn't get the job done, and then you can maybe add someone else into the feud and have a three-way thing going. Like, there's all kinds of options there. I mean, you don't necessarily have to bury anyone to achieve anything with this match tonight.
Don't disagree with you at all, my friend. Are there any matches that we haven't talked about yet? Because admittedly, Joe, I thought we'd hit them all, and then you threw a curveball at me there. So as I vamp, you can feel free to pull the card off if there was something you missed.
The Bucks versus Eddie. And,
I was going to say that's one that we have not discussed is the Young Bucks and Moxley and Kingston. Or Cody and Ogogo as well. Those are like the only two that we haven't really discussed.
Those are two pretty big ones, eh?
Yeah,
wow.
A little bit.
Doing a bad job. Spencer.
No, it's all right.
Doing a bad job of hosting.
We're not a prediction show yet.
Are we?
No, we're just
we had
chatting.
our prediction show earlier. That's exactly it.
Okay,
yeah.
Shaw, you kick her off then. Tag team championship match. The Bucks, Mox, Kingston. Going to war tonight, my friend. You got the big screen. Give us your thoughts.
My thoughts are we were talking earlier about who the guest entrant in the Battle Royal could be, and Joe brought up Nick Gage. And if I was going to put Nick Gage anywhere on this show, I would have him come in as like the heavy for the Young Bucks. Like he's been fighting his whole career, and now he's got this opportunity to just sell out and become like the Young Bucks, like heavy, and he comes in and takes out Eddie and Mox, and then we get like some crazy death match down the road.
That'd be cool. That's a great call out, man. That'd be awesome. That'd be so cool.
This was a situation for me a lot like not in the same situation, I guess, but a lot like with Archer and with Miro. Hard for me to figure out who's going to win this one, because both, for me, like, and I hate the phrase, I hate it, because it always makes people sound like a dick, but like neither of them can lose right now. Like Mox and Kingston, if Eddie Kingston isn't on your short list as far as best professional wrestlers of 2021,
so good.
I've got very little time for the rest of your list if he's not at least considered on there. Outside of just a personal preference, I guess, but like his promos, out of the park every single time.
Every time.
Yeah. Wrestling, that guy goes out. Not only is he a great wrestler, that guy makes it feel like a fight, and that's how pro wrestling is at its best for me, is when it's got that blood feud, real fight feel behind it, right? And he brings that to it every single time. Mox as well, too. And then with the Young Bucks, like, they're doing the heel thing in all the right ways. I hate the Young Bucks for all the reasons I should hate the Young Bucks. You know what I mean? Like, they make me mad in a way that not a lot of professional wrestlers make people mad anymore, which, like, again, I know there are individuals who polarizing, I guess is the right way to put it. People either love them or dislike them a lot. And I understand why on both ends of it, but I also think that either way on that end, it's pretty hard to dispute the outside the ring stuff right now as being great heel stuff. Right? Inside the ring, I get that people don't like the inside stuff sometimes. Outside, I think they've been flawless right now.
You can say whatever you want about them, but I've never seen a match featuring the Young Bucks that wasn't really exciting.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's a fair point. Parrish, I know you're not the biggest fan of them. Like, your thoughts on it?
I mean, I still think they screwed up with them and the Revival, FTR, whatever you want to call them. Like, come on, like, you didn't do, like, they told me at day one when they're doing the presser that they're going to make tag team wrestling better in AEW, and it's still, to me, doesn't feel anything better. So because of that, I've looked at what they're accomplished so far as a failure, because they have yet to promise me that. Now, in terms of their inner work, I'm not going to say they're not talented. They are, and they're some of the best businessmen outside of it. What I just don't like is, I like it when they troll on social media. I hate it when they troll on TV and take shots at WWE, because it's like, I don't like that aspect. I don't think you need to bring that onto your production side. You can do this away and keep the investment in. When they do that, I want to turn my TV away from them, because it's like, this is too childish and petty, and I believe that they're better than that. With the sense of this match, I don't see the need of them needing these titles to stay relevant because of what they're doing outside of the titles. I think this better is suited to go to Moxley and Kingston for the reason of keeping together, because now you can have the Bucks going there. They can even go to Impact and take the tag titles there if they have to stay relevant. And we all know that, AEW can go to TNA and take their titles at will.
Like, you just saying that, like... The Young Bucks versus Violent by Design would be effing incredible. It's something that hadn't even crossed my mind. Like, the Young Bucks in the ring with Joe Doring and Rhino.
Even think Moxley and Kingston against Violent by Design, and how much of a brawl that could be. And then the Bucks with a Nick Gage come out and say, no, we're taking over. Like, think about that. Just when you forgot about them, they bring you back in with that big.
I think we're all just trying to find ways to get Nick Gage on our TV.
Right? That's why tonight it should be Nick Gage. It should be Nick Gage.
I think that's exactly it. We absolutely need to. Oh, Brad hopping in, and a great shout here as we're getting closer to wrapping it up. But not sure if you guys talked about the Battle Royal. We had just tuning in, but imagine if Sick Nick Mondo came out as the unknown participant. Excellent shout, friend. It's good to see you. I've been enjoying tuning into your streams recently. I would say throw a link in the comments, but admittedly, Nightbot is horrible for that. So we will plug your stuff whenever we've got the opportunity, but I can guarantee I'll be tuned in the next time you are live, friend. And hopefully, as we get closer to wrapping it up here on Love Wrestling, you guys are all back here when we are live. It is thoroughly appreciated every single time you guys take the opportunity to tune in, say hi, throw some comments in there, put up with our recklessness and our side tracks and our definitely wrestling adjacent conversations we have on here. Sometimes it is always, always, always appreciated. I know off the bat, this show we started with what's your early contender for match of the night, something along those lines. But before we get into plugging what we are going to do in the next week and what we've got going on in everybody's individual social media stuff. Excuse me, I was getting a text on the top there, and I was trying to read it and talk at the same time. Guys, Parrish, I'll start with you first, as I started with you earlier. What is something you're most excited for tonight? Maybe not even your match of the night, anything along those lines, but for Double or Nothing, what's something you're most looking forward to?
Hangman Adam Page, 100%. This is why it's funny, because I'm as big of a Jericho fan as you can possibly imagine, and I thought Jericho being a part of AEW was going to make me watch AEW, and he's not. He just isn't. And that's not a shot at him. It's one of those things where I went from being a Shawn Michaels guy to a Chris Jericho guy, and there was a time and a moment to where I'm just like, okay, it's transitional time. And I'm there with the Jericho going else. I still love me some Jericho. I still think the guy's a GOAT, Hall of Famer, icon in this business. But when it comes to AEW, the guy that makes me watch AEW is that Hangman Adam Page. And I just think the natural progression of him right now it's stagnant. There has to be a moment where he's just like, it's my time. It's all about me. And this match with Brian Cage can put him on the map of like, I can kick ass and chew bubble gum, and guess what? I'll even drink a beer if I want to. Kind of things like that. And it's like, it's very impressive on him. I think you do something with Hangman Adam Page tonight, or you're really pushing it too much longer, because I think you have to do something now with him. So I'm curious to see if tonight's that now.
Do you want to, we'll improvise here. Do you want to plug your social media now, or do we want to go through this and then we'll show the nice little graphics Zach does up for us and then we'll plug our social media? No, just do it now. Where can people follow you?
Well, you can follow me for the next couple of days if you put up the graphic. Actually, you know what? Don't even do that right now. You can go to donate.tiltify.com/ad-pudding-u-over/St. Jude. Did I get that right?
You nailed it. I was waiting on her.
You nailed it.
Swear on the champ. No, they're doing a lot of stuff for the month of May. It is May 30th. So what are you waiting for, people? Go to that. Help out St. Jude, who are helping out the people, the kids in need. Go over to Putting You Over. That one. They're great guys. Stan and Streamer, Vanessa, they're doing some great stuff over there. And you know what? They're the ones who are setting this all up. So make sure that we all come together, support each other, love wrestling, but also donate and help the kids, because they're our future. And the future is now.
10%.
Book
I'll move
Page.
to you in a second here, but Rye throwing up for the event that he had tried to link to earlier. Sean Henderson's Birthday Blast streams live on IWTV at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Eastern, featuring Too Cold Scorpio versus Tim Donst, Reed Walker, Kobe Carino, Marcus Mathers, Cole Radrick, Braden Lee. Tons of great names on there, and IWTV is doing...
Yeah. Oh, terrific.
Right? IWTV does a great job of supporting independent professional wrestling. I know that sounds very obvious to say with independent wrestling TV, but they're doing an incredible job. And if you guys have the opportunity to support them, if you guys have the opportunity to support Backbreaker Media, who does a lot of the same stuff, but right here in the Albertan local scene, make sure you guys are supporting people, not just professional wrestlers, but the people around professional wrestling, whether it's commentators, whether it's referees, whether it's the fans. You know, we kicked off today's show with some memories of a guy who really impacted the professional wrestling scene here, Brian Hamilton. And by no means was that guy a professional wrestler, and by every means was that guy a fundamental part of the professional wrestling scene here. So make sure you're supporting great people, whether it's over on IWTV, whether it's Backbreaker Media, or whether it's folks like Kyle Shaw, who now has the floor to plug what he's got coming up, his social media, and of course, what he is most excited for on AEW Double or Nothing tonight.
My Twitter is Canadian Goose KS. I'm Kyle Shaw on the Facebook. I have the.canadian.goose on the Instagram there, so you can pay attention to those. I actually have these T-shirts available at Pro Wrestling.
Your link was a little longer. I wasn't going to make you do that one off of memory.
And honestly, like, there's not really any way for anyone to click on that link here. So your best bet is just go to ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Goose. I am the only wrestler in the world named Goose, so my T-shirts will come up immediately. I also have COVID-19 face masks for sale now, so you can contact me on Facebook. Would be the best way. They're going to be $15, and they come in black, gray, and white. So get at me for that. As far as AEW tonight goes, I want to see Orange Cassidy win that championship belt. 100%.
That would be so awesome.
My pitch is that he wins the belt tonight, and then they do the coronation on Dynamite, and he just gets murdered. And it's to the point where he's injured, and they take the belt off him, and they have no choice but to give it back to Kenny. And then Kenny is just this sadistic, like, Triple H-esque guy that came in. He doesn't deserve to have the belt, but he does.
Nice.
We do not support nor condone the murder of Orange Cassidy.
No.
But a ruthless beatdown would be absolutely fantastic.
Might be the perfect time to buy stocks in pulp, by the way.
Not from concentrate. JPJ, I saw you pop when Kyle brought up OC winning the championship. Is that what you're most excited for potentially? Is there something else? Give me that and give me your social media, friend.
Yeah. I would be excited. I don't think Orange Cassidy's gonna win, unfortunately. So, but if he did win, that would be right near the top. But
massive pop.
Yeah, the place would explode.
Choose.
I'm excited. I want to see Britt Baker. Britt Baker's the AEW performer that I care about the most. She's the one that I'm most invested in. So my moment that I'm looking for is her winning that title, that pop, and just her taking that and running with it. As far as social media goes, we have our wonderful sponsor, I think, covering it, but it is at Joseph_Poulin Jr. On the Twitter.
I'll take that down for a couple of seconds so people can see, but I'm also doing right by RK Athletics.
Yeah.
There you are.
So, of course, yeah, but Joseph Poulin Jr. with the underscore there. And then on Instagram and Facebook, I am just Joseph Poulin Jr. or Joe Poulin Jr., no underscore. Next Thursday, be sure to check us out. Between Two Beards, me, Pluggo, John, Wrestling Plug Inc. That's been a whole ball of fun. The first 3 shows, we like to have a lot of fun there. And then next week, we don't know the day yet because Dynamite's on Friday again. But the War Report with me and Matt will be back to our weekly schedule. So, yeah, and then hopping on these things, hopefully working with all you guys as much as I can, and just doing this. This is fun as hell. I enjoy this all the time. So
yeah, it's a good time.
So do we, friends. I think I speak for Parrish and Goose on that, but I know I enjoy it. I enjoy the hell out of all of you guys hopping in the comments, giving us your thoughts, giving us your questions, taking shots and trying to book me Wrestling Plug, but we'll get through that eventually. Whatever comments you guys have in there, it's always appreciated. Like I've said, when you take the time on a Sunday to come and hang out with some guys who just love to talk about professional wrestling. And if you want to continue to do so, we got lots of great stuff lined up for you guys this week. Starting tomorrow, we've got Josh Robinson hopping back on the airwaves chatting about the legacy of AJ Lee. On Tuesday, Zach's making a double dose of appearances on the site. Not only is he going to be hosting Power Out, but he's hopping on the Mind Behind with me. We've got Sasha Bailey on Turnbuckle Rewind this Thursday. We've also got the War Report and Between Two Beards coming out Friday. I get to chat with former Shimmer champion Nicole Savoy. It was an absolute blast to get to speak with her. Saturday, we've got a special edition of Power Out following another pay-per-view. And then to close out the week, we are going to be blowing off some stream. We don't know what we're playing yet. We don't know who's going to be there yet. But what I can tell you is that it's going to be an absolute blast. And I hope that you guys take the time like you did today and spend it with us. We appreciate you hanging out. We appreciate the support. If you want to continue to support Love Wrestling outside of this stream, our social media is crawling across the bottom. You can find us anywhere that podcasts are played, videos are viewed, or articles are read at Love Wrestling CA. Spenny may be sus, but he's pretty good at plugging stuff here, Parrish. He's doing a pretty good job, all right? So let me continue on the one breath here because, of course, if you guys are tuned in on Twitch, we want to make sure we're continuing on supporting good people that are supporting us and doing great things in professional wrestling. So if you guys tuned in last Tuesday to The Mind Behind, I had Reese from WrestleMania tuned in, hopped on and chatting with me. We're going to head over to his channel right now. He's testing the beta of All Elite Wrestling's Elite GM game. So let's go over there. Let's show him some love like you guys did for us today. If you guys are tuned in on Facebook, if you guys are tuned in on YouTube, then thank you once again from Parrish, from Goose, from JPJ, and myself. It is appreciated when you guys take the time for us. And we also want to give one quick final shout out. Today's show was in memory of Brian Hamilton. We want to send some love to his family, his friends, his loved ones, the Front Row Mafia, the professional wrestlers, the promotions, everybody here who was affected by him. And the reason I'm listing everybody is because he affected all of them. So make sure, friends, if you guys have people in your lives you love, tell them you love them. Tell them you love them today. Thank you guys for taking the time for all of us here on Sunday Brunch. We'll see you guys on the next one.